So quite nice and green area here between the office buildings. 5 points. So hi, today is 9th of June and it's news time. As you can see, I'm in a bit new location. This is one apartment rental at Ülemiste city. So I'll make a video about that, a separate video. But let's get on with the news. Postimees, and the first that is the antibodies after the vaccination seems to be declining quicker than they thought. This is the first headline. Also, there will be a sun eclipse, partial sun eclipse in Estonia, Tallinn, tomorrow, around 2 o'clock. There will be the maximum, and you can see how the moon will eclipse 20-something% from the sun's total 21% from the sun's total will be eclipsed by the moon. So from Friday, the remaining limitations on all kind of going to the restaurant and public events will be removed. So life comes back as usual. Until now, there were some limitations that some events had to end like 10 o'clock. Restaurants also had to be closed sooner. But from Friday, this one will be in the past. So things are going to normal. So that is the article where one of the companies which makes those vaccinations, it's called Synlab, who made all kind of tests and vaccinations. They thought that they're going to test the number of antibodies on their workers, and they discovered that 12 weeks after the last vaccination, the antibodies number drastically declined. Another news, 59,000 tourists visited Estonia in April, which is 3 times the number last year. But this is not a good comparison, because last year everything was closed. So these are not still good numbers. That Finland has also does not allow traveling to Estonia, which is a big problem for Estonia. So there was some murder case in Lasnamäe, in some bar. Some guy was murdered, and there is now a court case. So be careful when you go to Lasnamäe, especially those shady bars. There will be some reform considering how is the correct writing, correct spelling in Estonian. It's called sõnastiku reform, reform of the dictionary. They also had found one kind of flower from Saaremaa, which they thought was extinct. They thought it was extinct 120 years ago. Now they have discovered it. Take a look. It's an Estonian name. Here is also the article about the eclipse. So the eclipse in Estonia will start tomorrow, 10th of June, starting 12:54, and it will end 14th of May, 15:14. So some international news. There is a big article about one factory for 14 million which is not yet ready, and there is some kind of discussion of its building the factory for milk. So milk factory which will how I call it, just a moment. So factory for milk processing for 14 million. It should be ready 2023, but there are some disputes. So article about the Finnish tourism, that it is also in a very bad shape. That in Finland 140,000 people rely upon the tourism. So there was also a big discussion because Finland did not allow the traveling of Finnish citizens to Estonia, and even our Prime Minister called the Finnish ambassador to tell them that they were not happy because Finnish side allowed traveling to Estonia only by airplane, but not by boat, which since our numbers of COVID patients have declined a lot, it is not substantiated, and all those tourism and our hotels and tourism are all in a very bad shape due to that, because for some hotels, like this was the main client, person from Finland who came for the weekend. So there is an article about sailing in the cosmos, technological article, that once it was thought that it is impossible or only in science fiction books, but now it is a reality. Take a look. So how the things can change. Also, Estonian budget is in red, and there is a big political discussion about that should we just spend more or just should we cut spending, and they try to cut military spending, but they don't have a consensus on that. So our Estonian bank president writes a big article on that he thinks that we should cut back, especially now when it seems that the economy is rebounding, so there is no point for the government to spend excessive amount of money. There is a big article about the new hospital which is going to be built, or they are discussing building it in Tallinn, that maybe should be thought more over, first to decide what do you want and then start building it, to have a clear objective what kind of hospital is most needed. But actually, yes, some of the hospital infrastructure in Estonia is kind of old. It was built in the 80s during the communist time. It has been renovated, but still some buildings are quite old and maybe too inefficient to keep up. So there are some articles about films, that the lipstick during the war in the trenches. So about film and which portrays the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and the Ukrainian separatists. I haven't been to the movies for quite some time. I should now, when I have the chance, go again. And that's it for the news for today. Today was 9th of June, and like, subscribe. I have already also made a Patreon page. Check it in the description below, and see you in the next video.